On a quiet August night in Charlotte, North Carolina, a young Ukrainian refugee named Iryna Zarutska boarded a Lynx Blue Line train, hoping to reach home safely. But she never made it. A brutal attack by Decarlos Brown, a repeat offender, ended her life, shocking the city. This video, based on public records, dives into the Charlotte train murder, exploring not just what happened, but why, and what it means for us all. Iryna, 28, fled Ukraine's war-torn streets for peace in America. She arrived in Charlotte in 2023, joining a growing Ukrainian community. But life was tough. Language barriers, low-paying jobs, and constant fear of instability followed her. On August 22, 2025, Iryna boarded the train after a late shift at a cafe. Unaware she was being watched, Decarlos Brown, Iryna's killer, was no stranger to crime. At 35, his rap sheet spanned over a decade. Armed robbery, assault, drugs. But what turned a petty criminal into a murderer? Experts suggest untreated mental health issues, fueled by a cycle of prison and release without rehabilitation. His parole in early 2025, months before the attack, raises questions about the system's failure to monitor repeat offenders. Brown frequented Charlotte's public transit, blending in, a predator in plain sight. That night, he saw Iryna alone in the train car. The Lynx Blue Line, Charlotte's busy light rail, was meant to be safe, but on August 22nd, its dim corners became a stage for horror. The attack was swift and brutal. At 10:45 p.m., near Archdale Station, Brown struck. Details are limited to avoid graphic content, but Iryna was stabbed multiple times. She fought back, but her injuries were too severe. Passengers, shocked, called 911 as the train halted. Brown fled into the night, leaving Iryna lifeless. Paramedics arrived fast, but it was too late. The Charlotte Mecklenburg police launched a manhunt, sifting through hours of surveillance footage. The grainy video was chilling, Brown's calm face staring into the camera before vanishing. For 3 days, Charlotte held its breath as police chased leads. Iryna's death wasn't just a statistic, it was a wake-up call. Iryna's story, a woman escaping war only to meet violence in a new land, struck a chord. Vigils sprang up across Charlotte, with candles and flowers at Archdale Station. Her death exposed the vulnerabilities of Charlotte's Ukrainian community. Since 2022, over 2,000 Ukrainians had settled here, fleeing Russia's invasion. But integration was hard. Limited jobs, language barriers, and isolation left many feeling like outsiders. Iryna worked long cafe hours, saving for a better future. Her co-workers called her kind but reserved, always carrying a Ukrainian flag keychain. Her death sparked fear among refugees, who wondered if safety in America was a myth. Brown's capture came on August 25, 2025, after a transit worker's tip. Police found him in a motel near Uptown Charlotte. During interrogation, he showed little remorse, giving vague answers about his motives. Some speculate rage, others a robbery gone wrong. But one question lingered. Could this have been prevented? Brown's history paints a grim picture. In a crime-plagued Charlotte neighborhood, he was in trouble by his teens, shoplifting. Then armed robbery. Prison records note antisocial personality traits. Yet he got little treatment. Released on parole in 2025, he was supposed to check in. He didn't. The system's failure to monitor Brown allowed a ticking time bomb to roam free. Experts say America's revolving door justice system, where offenders cycle in and out, creates tragedies like Iryna's. In 2024, Charlotte reported over 1,200 violent crimes, many by recidivists. Compare this to Norway, where prison focuses on reform and recidivism is half the US rate. Could a better system have saved Iryna? It's a question haunting Charlotte's police and policymakers. The investigation also exposed flaws in the Lynx Blue Line. Spanning 19 miles, it carries thousands daily. But that night, Iryna's train car had no guard, and cameras weren't monitored live. A 2023 audit had warned about understaffing and outdated equipment, yet little changed. After the murder, Charlotte's transit system faced scrutiny. Why no patrols at trouble spots like Arkdale? Public outcry pushed for answers. By September 2025, the city promised 50 new cameras and more security. But for many, it was too late. Iryna's death became a rallying cry for safer public spaces, especially for women and minorities. Her story echoed other transit attacks, like the 2022 New York subway shooting, reminding us safety isn't guaranteed. Charlotte's Ukrainian community was hit hard. Many had fled war, only to face new fears in America. At a vigil days after the murder, Refugee shared stories of Iryna's kindness. A pastor said she wanted to be a teacher, to give back. Flowers piled up at Archdale, a silent protest against violence. Fear lingered. Some refugees stopped using transit, opting for costly ride shares. Others joined advocacy groups, demanding better protections. The case sparked talk of xenophobia. Were refugees like Iryna more vulnerable? Data shows immigrants face higher crime rates in urban areas, often with less access to justice. Iryna's death wasn't random. It was a symptom of deeper issues. Her community vowed to honor her by pushing for change. As Brown awaited trial in 2025, questions about his motives grew. Was it random or calculated? Psychologists point to patterns in offenders like Brown: impulse issues, lack of empathy. His prior assaults on women suggested escalation. Yet during parole, no red flags were raised. This was a failure of the system. Charlotte police faced criticism for not acting sooner. A 2024 report showed 30% of violent crime arrests involved parolees. Yet monitoring was underfunded. Iryna's case became a flashpoint, with activists calling for stricter oversight and mental health support. Could early treatment have stopped Brown? Or was he beyond help? The case drew national attention, with parallels to other transit attacks. In 2023, a San Francisco BART stabbing led to security reforms. Could Charlotte follow? By September 2025, the city allocated $2 million for transit upgrades, real-time cameras, panic buttons. But for Iryna's family, it was too late. Her parents in Ukraine said via a church, "Iryna dreamed of safety. We hope her death brings change." The case highlighted the plight of 100,000 Ukrainians resettled in the US since 2022. Advocacy groups argue better integration, language classes, job training could reduce vulnerability. Iryna's story became a call to action. What makes this case haunting is its ordinariness. Iryna was just a commuter, Brown just a man on the train, yet their paths crossed in violence. This could happen anywhere, any train, any city. Are we doing enough to keep public spaces safe? Charlotte's response, more cameras, guards, is a start, but it misses root causes. Why do offenders like Brown slip through? Why are refugees left exposed? Compare this to Tokyo, where transit crime is rare due to heavy policing. America's focus on punishment over prevention falls short. Iryna's death isn't just a headline, it's a warning. Her memory demands better for every city. Iryna's death was more than a crime. It was a failure of systems meant to protect us. From a justice system that freed Brown to a transit system that left Iryna vulnerable, the cracks were there. Her life, full of hope despite hardship, deserved better. So what can we do? Stricter parole monitoring? More transit funding? Better refugee support? These are calls to action. In the comments, share your thoughts. How can we prevent this? What would you change? Iryna's story reminds us safety isn't a given. We must fight for it. Subscribe and hit the bell for more true crime stories. Let's honor Iryna by keeping her story alive. This video was made using public records and news reports. Check out articles from the Charlotte Observer and WBTV linked in the description for more details. If you want to support Ukrainian refugees, consider donating to the Charlotte Ukrainian Community Center. Their work helps people like Iryna find stability. In the comments, tell us, what true crime cases should we cover next? Your suggestions keep this channel going. If you want more stories like this, subscribe and join our community. Together, we can shed light on cases that matter. Thank you for watching, and stay safe out there. Sources for description: Charlotte Observer, Charlotte train stabbing shocks community, August 2025. WBTV, Lynx Blue Line murder, what went wrong, August 2025. X posts, search hashtag Charlotte train murder for updates. Charlotte Ukrainian Community Center, support resources. Before you go, let us know what you think about Iryna's case. Could better systems have saved her? Your voice matters. Subscribe for more deep dives into true crime, and we'll see you in the next video.